How does a simple proposal, something written down on paper, transform into a law that affects millions of us, that businesses have to follow, and that our courts have to enforce? Well, that's the whole journey we're going to unpack today, step by step.
This video was created with AI to support SQE1 study. We are independent and have no affiliation with the SRA, Kaplan, or the SQE. We do not share exam content, and our videos are for informational purposes only and should not be used as legal advice. Please check and refer to primary legal sources and recommended prep guides as you study.
Have you ever stopped to think how an idea, a promise made by a politician or a big new proposal, actually becomes the law of the land here in the UK? It's quite a journey, full of debate, intense scrutiny, and yet a few really old traditions. So let's follow a bill on its long, winding road to becoming a powerful Act of Parliament. We've broken this whole thing down into 5 key stages. First up, how an idea even becomes a formal bill. Then, we watch it face its first big test, what I'm calling the Commons Gauntlet. After that, it's off to the House of Lords for another round of scrutiny. Then comes the really dramatic bit, parliamentary ping-pong. And finally, we'll see the moment it officially becomes law.
First things first, where do laws actually come from? I mean, they don't just appear out of thin air. The whole process starts way earlier with something we call policy.
Think about it. Before a law is ever written down, it starts its life as just an idea. A lot of the time, it's a promise made in an election manifesto, or maybe it's a new solution to a problem facing the country. It's the government of the day, the executive branch, that turns these big ideas into concrete policy.
Now, the whole point of this entire process, the end goal, is to create something called primary legislation. You might know these as Acts of Parliament or statutes. And let me tell you, these are the top of UK law. If there's ever a conflict between an Act of Parliament and some other law, the Act always wins. So, how does one of these powerful Acts of Parliament start its life? Well, it begins as a bill. Think of the bill as the main character in our story. It's just a proposal for a new law, a draft. It has absolutely no legal power until it survives the whole grueling journey we're about to see. You've got your public bills. These are the most common ones. They affect all of us, and they usually come from the government. Then you have private bills, which are much rarer. They're for specific organizations, like a local council needing special powers. And finally, you get a hybrid bill, like the one for the HS2 rail project, which is a kind of mix of both. All right, once our bill is drafted, it is ready to enter the arena. And for most bills, that arena is the House of Commons. This is where it has to run a 5-stage gauntlet, facing debate and scrutiny from our elected members of Parliament. And here they are, the 5 hurdles our bill has to clear in the Commons. You've got the first reading, second reading, committee stage, report stage, and third reading. Each one has a totally different purpose, so let's break them down.
First reading. Sounds super important, right? Well, plot twist, it's pretty much just a formality. The short title of the bill gets read out, a date is set for the next stage, and that's it. No debate, no votes.
Now, things get serious. This is the second reading, and it is the first real test. For the very first time, MPs get to debate the big ideas behind the bill. Is this a good idea? Do we even need this law? Then comes a massive vote. If the bill loses here, its journey is done. But if it passes, the bill moves to the committee stage. This is where they get out the magnifying glass. A small committee of MPs goes through the bill, literally line by line, clause by clause. It's where they hammer out all the nitty-gritty details, away from all the shouting of the main chamber. So, once that committee has finished its detailed work, the bill, now with some changes, is presented back to the entire House of Commons. This is called the report stage. It's a chance for every single MP to look at the amendments and suggest even more. Think of it as a final quality check on all the details. At last, we hit the third reading. This is it, the final showdown in the House of Commons. No more changes can be made at this point. It's just one last debate on the bill as a whole, followed by one last vote. If it passes, our bill has officially survived the Commons.
But wait, just because it passed the Commons doesn't mean it's home free, not by a long shot. The journey is far from over. Now the bill has to travel down the corridor to the other chamber, the House of Lords.
And you're not going to believe this, but the whole 5-stage process starts all over again. I'm not kidding. First reading, second reading, committee, report, and third reading all happen again in the House of Lords. The Lords, who are often experts in fields like law or science, use their expertise to give the bill another thorough checkup, and they often find things the Commons missed.
So this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say the Lords make a bunch of changes to the bill, but the Commons don't like those changes. What happens when the elected House and the unelected House just can't agree on the final words?
Well, that brings us to what is possibly the most dramatic phase of this whole process: parliamentary ping-pong.
And honestly, the name is perfect because the bill is literally sent back and forth between the Commons and the Lords like a ping-pong ball. Each house looks at the other's changes, rejects them, or suggests new ones, trying to find some kind of compromise.
The Commons sends over their version. The Lords amend it and send it back. The Commons says, no thanks to that, but offers a different change, and back it goes. This can go on for a while until hopefully they agree. But what if they don't?
Well, if there's a total deadlock, there's a constitutional trump card that can be played. It's called the Parliament Acts. And these laws basically make sure that, at the end of the day, the elected House of Commons gets the final say.
So, what this all boils down to is this: the House of Lords can't actually kill a bill. They can't veto it. All they can do is delay it. For most big public bills, they can hold it up for about a year, max. And for any bills about taxes or government spending, their power is even weaker. They can only delay those for a month. Their job is to check and challenge, but not to block forever.
The debates are done, the ping pong is over, and an agreement has been reached, one way or another. Our bill is on the final straight, about to cross the finish line. This last step is called royal assent. It's the moment when the king or queen formally agrees to the bill, turning it into an act of parliament. But in modern times, this is a pure formality. I mean, a monarch hasn't actually refused to give royal assent in over 300 years. It's basically a constitutional rubber stamp.
And with that, the journey is complete. The bill, that little proposal we started with, has been transformed. It is now officially an act of parliament. It is the law of the land.
Okay, that was a quick trip through the entire life of a law. Let's pull everything together with a quick recap, a checklist that should be perfect for your revision.
Just remember this logical flow, and you'll be set. Government policy gets drafted into a bill. That bill has to survive the full parliamentary process to become an act. And when that act gets used in court, judges use their established rules and aids to interpret its meaning. Thanks so much for joining this new 2 Law Breakdown, and seriously, good luck with your studies.